think most hunters have a problem looking at a large cattail marsh and knowing where to start. You get large blocks of woods, large blocks of cattails. Some of them might be 3,000 to 5,000 acres. But to me, scouting cattail marshes has been pretty easy because you really don't have to look at the whole marsh. You don't have to look at the woods. You don't have to look at the big bodies of cattails. All the buck action seems to be in daylight around the transition line where the cattails meet the woods. Now that can be anywhere along that body of cattails, including the interior. So an island could work as a transition. And the key is to really find those remote areas where people don't go. So points, fingers, even the little bowls that come into the woodlot, anything that changes that flat line of terrain where the cattails and the woods meet. A lot of times those bowls will have a lot of dogwood in them. The fingers will jut out into an area where there's a little bit higher ground into cattails around the finger, offering some bedding. The islands seem to be the most remote areas. People just don't want to go through all that water, muck, and 10-foot deep cattails to get out there. Those islands can be really, really productive in early season if they have oak trees on them that are dropping acorns. The key is it's usually your first hunt in there that gets these bucks. I usually hunt once early season on a good island, once right around rut. If the properties I'm hunting have pheasant and duck seasons, after those come in play a couple of days, I like to go hit the islands because those deer will be moved out of any beds that are inland or where there's more access to people. I usually don't find the bedding right on the islands. It's generally on little fingers off of the islands that have dogwood, red brush, or small trees or grassy mixed with brush. That's usually where they bed. So I usually pick the end of the island where that bedding connects with the island and get them right where they come out of the bedding onto the island. Most of the daylight bedding and daylight activity will be right where the cattails meet the wood line, or the transition in between. Say there's dogwood in between the cattails and the wood line. So that's where you want to hunt. You can forget about the whole wooded area. You can forget about the whole open cattails area, and just walk that transition line and check out those transitions, and that's where you should find the activity that's going to get you daylight results.
Now let's join James Squire as he lays out his hunt for a central Minnesota public marsh buck.
And on this episode, I'm going to be taking us through my 2009 opening day hunt for this marsh buck. The hunt occurs on a tract of public land here in central Minnesota. Receives a fair amount of pressure from area hunters, squirrel hunters, other archery hunters, and you really have to know how to hunt these marsh bucks. Hopefully I can walk you through some of the tips and tactics that I've learned from Dan Infalt and others, and kind of see how the story for this buck came together. So the food sources that we're targeting are corn and beans to the north in the farm country north of this marsh, and the deer traveling from south to north. We look for roads that are easy access. This provides us an opportunity to do some glassing from the road in the summer months, as well as some shining, and helps us kind of determine, once we have 10 or 12 or more of these spots, which ones to key in on, which ones are holding mature animals. In this case, I had been seeing a pretty wide buck the past couple years in this area. Knew I had a couple good bucks here. So my stand location is in a small cluster of white oaks in the middle of the marsh here, and this was a spot I scouted in 2007. My stand is in kind of the one tree that I can really fit it in, and the bucks are bedding to the west, kind of southwest from this location. The route that this buck is going to take, as we'll see in the actual video footage, is he's bedded in this bedding area, this grass to the west, and he gets up and kind of makes a big loop to reach my position. The wind is coming from the southwest, and it's just perfect for this hunt. He never gets downwind of me and gets in within 23 yards for the shot. My scouting in this location occurred in the winter of 2007, putting boots on the ground. I had taken a pretty nice buck back here in the autumn of 2008, took a 10-point buck. Had actually filmed a nicer buck in here. It was the same day I had filmed this bigger buck go into some really thick cover, and when this other buck came out, things unfolded very quickly. And later on that night, reviewing the footage, I realized I had shot quite a bit smaller buck of the two. So I was pretty hopeful in 2009 that this big buck was still hanging out in this area.
It's September 19th, 2009. I'm in central Minnesota, just by my house, on some public land tonight. I'm actually in the spot that I shot my 10-pointer last year on the same public land. I saw a bigger 10-pointer the same day. Didn't realize that there were two different ones until I reviewed the footage later. So I filmed him last year. So I'm hoping he made it last year. If he did, I think he'd be about a 4.5 or 5.5-year-old buck. So I'm really hoping that he made it this year. Just, hoping we will see him. I got my buddy Greg about 500, 700 yards away, hunting off the tip of a point. So between the two of us, one of us should see some deer tonight. Should be a good opener.
This buck was bedded not too far from my stand to the west. Again, I had a good wind coming from the southwest, and I wasn't sure if he was going to head north. That's where he kind of walked initially, not too far, and pulled out a grunt call and did just a few subtle grunts, and I think that definitely helped coax him over. Definitely didn't hurt the situation, and he came, made a big circle around my stand, and came in, never got downwind of me. I don't think he was too concerned with that, but he had to kind of go around a little slew of cattails through some grass and get to the white oaks where he was going to do some feeding. Being this hunt was self-filmed, you're always kind of balancing that line between taking the buck and getting it on film, or at least I am, and I definitely don't pay any bills with any kind of footage that I put together for these bucks, so it's a little tricky trying to get them on camera. And in this case, you'll see that my rangefinder actually bumped the lens. The camera was definitely my secondary objective in this hunt, and you see the rangefinder just bump the lens before I take the shot, and then I get on the camera and follow up and see the deer take off. He ends up tipping over on camera. Tried to highlight that in the video for us so you can see that, but probably ran 15-20 yards tops. Definitely my shortest kill ever.
buddy.
See all that? Right there?
That's good blood. Go slow.
High five.
Yeah, got him.
Got him.
Let's see.
Good.
Where's he at?
Yeah, he'll do.
Hey, nice buck. Light him up for me, buddy.
All right, so we're back here in a marsh. We had to push through some cattails to get back here, and the spot that we have here, there's about 7 white oak trees, dropping acorns like nuts. These deer are just coming out of the woodwork for them. I had 3 different deer in tonight, including this guy, just feeding on these acorns. He was coming in for them when I shot him, and that's the setup. It's real remote. It's hard to get to. It's tough public land hunting. You got to push back to get these big guys, these big marsh bucks. They just don't come out before dark in easy to access spots. Put in some hard work for this guy today. Got out and set up early, out by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Waited all night. He came in about an hour before dark, looking for these acorns, and put a good shot on him.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Hope you enjoyed following me along on this hunt on this episode. It was a lot of fun scouting and hunting for this buck. A lot of hard work to drag him out of that big marsh. And I'll be back in those same spots again this year, looking for the next big one.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Extreme Whitetail Tactics. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please join our online discussion at www.huntingbeast.com. Now I gotta go. I heard there's still one alive out there. He's still moving. Yeah.
What? There's no babies in here. I think I got him.
Here he goes.
There he's alive.
Hold the rat up. Who's the rat slayer? So got me a rat. Hold your gun up. Okay, rat slayer. What happened with the last rat? What's you got now? 4? Holy crap. You gonna go get another one? Looks like you earned yourself a 12-pack of soda, eh?
Just one. Just 4 here. You should get 4.
4 12 packs?
You said for every rat.
Alright, we'll take care of you.